What are we doing? What are we doing? College Football Playoff Committee, I need you to answer this question. What are we doing? Putting Tennessee at number 21 in the CFP polls over a team like Utah. I'm genuinely asking this question, and I think a lot of people want the answer to this one. So if you are new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below. Leave a comment telling me why you think Tennessee deserves to be in the top 25, why they don't deserve to be in the top 25, because that's the right answer. Tell your friends, your family, your sister, your brother, everybody about this channel. And as always, let's continue to talk college football. By the way, you want to give me a follow on social media, it's at Mr. Cole Thompson. You hit the subscribe button at Mr. Cole Thompson on YouTube. You might as well hit the subscribe button also on Twitter. Give me a follow. Let's talk college football daily. Tennessee came in at number 21 last night in the CFP rankings. Good God. Good freaking God. Why? Why? Seriously, why? I'm genuinely wondering because if you look at the strength of schedule, you look at the quality of competition, and you look at the way they played, therein lies the problem. Tennessee is 7-4. Tennessee will likely finish the season off 8-4 once they beat up on Vanderbilt this weekend. Tennessee will not be in the running to be one of the top 5 teams in the SEC this season. Tennessee will not be in the running to be one of the quality teams that we see play in a New Year's Six bowl bid. And Tennessee took a massive step back this offseason underneath new quarterback Joe Milton. Facts. Those are just facts. And here's the crazy part. Their best win of the season came against a Texas A&M team that was playing with a backup quarterback, and you needed a punt return for a touchdown to get a win and 2 interceptions by Max Johnson. That was your best win of the season. You're 7-4, and your losses are not that promising. Yeah, you lost to Georgia. Okay, everyone loses to Georgia. You lost to Texas. You lost to Alabama. Okay, most teams lose to Alabama. In fact, every team besides Texas has lost to Alabama. You also lost to Florida. You also lost by 13 to Florida. And here is where it gets really interesting, people. Does anybody remember week 1 of the regular season when we scheduled well back years and years ago, Utah versus Florida? Anybody remember the score of that game? I don't know either, but I'll tell you this much. It was by 13. So the team that played at home against Florida that won by 13 is ranked behind the team that played on the road at Florida and lost by 13. It's maddening. It's absolutely maddening that this is where we are. You know what this is? This is a resume booster for Georgia, and it's for Alabama. And you know what? From an SEC standpoint, I get it. I do. I completely understand that when you look at those two teams and the way that they've handled business really since the start of the year, I'd go early October. Like for Georgia, it's been right around the time that they played Florida all the way until now. And then for Alabama, it's been roughly around the time since conference play started when you faced off against Ole Miss. Those two teams have done their job. But here's the reality. They don't need any more bolstering to show why they are dominant. Alabama is a pipeline factory to the NFL that continues to punch out future Sunday superstars, and lo and behold, they have a ton on their roster this year. Georgia, exact same thing. Handling business, and they basically follow the same formula every year. Struggle in September, find their inertia in October, and by November, they're wheels on and hell-bent to go ahead and win a national title. That is the case. That's always been the case. That will be the case for them so long as Kirby Smart and Nick Saban are running the show in Tuscaloosa and Athens, respectively. They don't need a resume booster by having Tennessee just hang around. But you know what we're doing? We're bolstering up Tennessee because they played close against Alabama. Alabama beat the living dog crap out of them in the second half by 27 points. They've lost their last 3 games by 86 points combined. 86 points combined. And you're talking about a Utah team that also handled business against the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Handled business. They have losses. I'm not going to deny it. They lost to Utah. They lost to Arizona. They lost to Oregon. They lost to Washington. And the Washington game is actually a major testament, in my opinion, more so on Washington's defense than it is against Washington's offense. Washington outscored the Utes in the second half 11-0. They forced 2 major turnovers on Bryson Barnes. That Utah team still is very well prepared, And every single week, you know you're going to get the best version of them. When have we seen the best version of Tennessee this season? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's tough. I get it. We want to go ahead and give a lot of credit where credit's due. But this is one of those few times where I say you are what your schedule says you are. You are what your record says you are. Plain and simple. When I look right now at Tennessee, their best win is against the Texas A&M team, which, by the way, doesn't have a head coach right now, which is on its third string quarterback and is going into face off against the potential Heisman Trophy winner with no end in sight about where they're going to turn their next direction in 2024. That's your best win. And your losses come to Georgia. Your losses come to Missouri, a Missouri team that right now is playing pretty decent football. They also struggled against Florida. Florida, which again, you lost to by double digits, and Alabama, who basically boat raced you in the second half in their home turf. We're giving a pass to Tennessee because they play in the SEC. That's the bottom line. That's completely the bottom line. Because based off the way that these rosters are constructed, based off the way that these the coachings have been, and based off the way these teams have played, Utah's a better team. Utah, without question, is the better team than Tennessee. But what we're doing is we're looking at Washington and saying, well, Washington would still have a win over a ranked Arizona, and Washington would still have a win over a ranked Utah and a ranked Oregon State. They're good. We don't need to worry about Utah. But Georgia wouldn't have that same ranked win over a Tennessee, or they would only have it over an Ole Miss. But by the way, they would have it over Alabama too. They still would have it over Alabama when it comes to deciding on who makes it to the CFP. Oh, and by the way, Alabama, their one loss to Texas, the other U team, really wouldn't be a factor if Texas loses one more game. And it's plausible. Have you seen Texas? I've seen Texas. I think Texas, the way that they're playing right now, is still scary. They're finding ways to not shoot themselves in the foot. But here we are, looking at them like a cat on its ninth life, saying, is this the weekend? Is this the game where they fall apart? Is this the game where they end up completely unraveling and going back down to reality and Texasing? That's the bottom line. The reason why Tennessee is ranked in Utah is because they play in the SEC, so they're viewed to be playing quality competition. Spoiler alert, the SEC is the most prominent conference in all of college football. I will not take that away. As an SEC grad, I've seen it up close in person. The SEC is dominant. But the Pac-12 is this year's best conference. You've seen UCLA ranked. You've seen Colorado ranked. You've seen Utah ranked, Oregon State ranked. You've seen Arizona climb the ladder, Washington climb the ladder. You've seen Oregon play its best version of football since losing in Seattle. And by the way, that game against Washington, they were the better team. They just caught the worst end of the break. That's the best conference in college football. Utah is the team that deserves to be ranked this week over Tennessee. But hell, don't tell me that there's no such thing as the SEC bias, right? Guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.